to Friday reviews. It is the first week of the year. No, it's the first Friday of the year. Technically, yeah, it's the first week of the year too, so we'll just carry on with that. This will be called Friday Reviews Week 1 2017, or maybe Friday Reviews Week 1 what I've watched 2017. So if you're watching this for the first time, there was more last year, but I just want to see if we can get all the weeks in of this year and do a Friday Reviews every Friday, hopefully, fingers crossed. So I've decided to change up the format because it's a new year. I'm going to start off with my least favourite film to my most favourite film. I usually review the films in order of the ones that I've watched, but I thought this might be a bit different and interesting. So if you like this, let me know in the comments below, or if you want it to go back to the old way, you can let me know that too. I might put a poll if I remember. So I've been trying to catch up on the movies that came out in 2016. So I've watched quite a few that I was behind on, I hadn't watched yet. And this is one that I solely hadn't watched just because it's a very long film. I think it's nearly 3 hours long. And I'm such a sucker for not watching long films. But I thought, you know what, now's the time, I shall watch it. And I feel like I'm going to have the most unpopular opinion and people aren't going to like it. I should have started off with best to worst so that it wasn't the first film. But first film on the list is The Hateful Eight, the newest Quentin Tarantino film. I was actually really quite looking forward to it. I liked the idea of the concept. I've seen a couple Quentin Tarantino films before. I'd watched Django Unchained, which obviously was the film that came out before this of his, and I really enjoyed Django. I definitely would watch it again. I had a great time watching it and I really enjoyed it. I'd heard some people who didn't like this, but they said they didn't like it because it was too violent or just a bit too much. But, you know, Quentin Tarantino sometimes is that way. I'd seen Django and other things and I thought, yeah, that's not too much of a problem for me. I wasn't too bothered about that. And actually I was surprised because I was expecting more from this, from what I'd heard, in terms of brutal and violent stuff. So that wasn't the problem. And it was a very slow, long film, and that really wasn't that much of the problem either. So the film started off, and the thing is, the film itself isn't, it's not a bad film. It looks stunning. It was obviously filmed on, I can't quite remember, I don't want to say it wrong because I'm sure one of you knows it. It was filmed differently. It was like filmed a bit old school style, and it looked brilliant. Soundtrack was great, visually was brilliant, acting brilliant. There were so many great things about the film. However, I didn't enjoy the film at all. The first half an hour, I was interested. I was like, oh, okay. I really liked Samuel L. Jackson's character. I thought it was a very interesting film. I knew that they were going to go to a lodge type place, and I knew it was going to be kind of a bit of a mystery, a bit of all these people in one place, what's kind of going on. And I was really excited for that. I love that kind of thing. So, first half an hour, I'm intrigued, I'm enjoying it. Maybe the next hour, finding it a little bit slow. I feel like once they got to the cabin, I was still intrigued. I was kind of like, okay. But then it kind of died down a bit. Things were a little bit quiet, and I thought, you know. And then, I mean, obviously, of course, I'm giving this review without giving any spoilers, so it's hard from what I can say. Something happened. There was a point when I knew things were changing. There was a particular point in the film, and I thought, okay, the film's been fine so far, but from now I'm going to love it. And I was so excited at this point. I think it was like an hour and a half in, if not more. It was quite a while in, and something happened that was going to switch everything. And I knew it, and I was kind of waiting for it, and something happened. And then what I thought was going to happen, I thought it was going to be a bit more of a mystery, a bit more intrigue. It was kind of over a bit fast, this certain thing. And I was like, oh, I wanted that suspicion, that who was it? I'd wanted that so much from the film. I thought it set up brilliantly for that. And then it kind of wasn't that. It kind of did that done with very quickly, which is weird because it's quite a slow-paced film. It kind of did that really quick, and then it moved on. It kind of flipped on its head and carried on with something else. And then the part that flipped, I wasn't a fan of. I just was like, oh, okay. And it wasn't surprising for me, I just was like, oh, okay. And then it ended, and I was just so disappointed. I almost felt like I wish I would not have seen it, because I don't feel like I mean, I loved, at the beginning, I actually really did like the first half an hour. And then I really liked the setup of the film. I thought the film in itself sounded good. I know people enjoy it, people don't. I think it's definitely a love it or hate it film, and I really, really didn't like it. And I haven't given it a rating. Actually, in my little book, I've just put nothing, because I don't feel like I can give it anything. I didn't like it. But I was disappointed in it as well because I wanted something else from it. Maybe that's my fault. And however, it did have its good points as a film. It was filmed great. Everything was set up nicely, and the acting was great. So yeah, I really didn't like it, but it won't put me off watching Quentin Tarantino's next film, because it was maybe just this film. I don't know, if you liked it, let me know. I know some people loved it, some people hated it, some people just didn't like it at all, some people didn't get it. I don't know, I just didn't like it. I watched the whole thing. I know some people who watched like an hour or an hour and a half and they've given up, didn't watch it, and they said I hated that film. No, I don't think that's really fair. I actually watched the whole thing and I can say that I did not enjoy it. Now, next one, Last Witch Hunter. This, I feel, is a worse film than The Hateful Eight. So I've given The Hateful Eight nothing. I haven't given it a rating. It's just at the bottom of the pile. Probably my least favourite film I've watched in a long time. So it's kind of conflictory for this one because I gave this 2 stars. I didn't like it. I felt like it was messy and it was confusing and it was boring, as kind of was The Hateful Eight at times. But this film just was like, it just was too much. Whereas, I don't know, it was a while ago I watched this. I talked about it in my last Friday reviews, where I talked about all the films. I kind of talked about this one a little bit, but I didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't good for me. I watched 45 minutes in and then I really started to lose interest. The first 45 minutes, I like it. It's good. I tried to watch it once before and I couldn't get through it, so I wouldn't recommend The Last Witch Hunter. It was just kind of eh. Okay, moving on to films that I did enjoy. Those 2 I did enjoy. The rest I did, but they're just in order. So next we have Bad Mums. I gave this 3.5 stars. Now this and the next film are kind of tied. So we have Bad Mums and Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Now both of these are interesting because they're both comedies. And they both felt a little bit flat for me. I enjoyed them both in their own right. I gave them 3.5 stars. But they weren't amazing. I feel like comedy and horror are the 2 genres that can kind of really fall below for me. They have to be something kind of special. I really like Bridesmaids. I quite enjoy The Hangover. I really liked Due Date, if you remember that film. I'm trying to think of newer comedies I like. Spy, I quite enjoyed. There's quite a few comedies I'm like, yes, I love that. I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but these 2 were just okay. Bad Mums is about some mums who kind of rebel against the perfect mums and the PTA meeting mums. And it was okay. It was enjoyable enough, but I was expecting a little bit more. I actually think I enjoyed Mother's Day more than this. They're different films. Mother's Day is kind of more nice, fluffy film. This is supposed to be a comedy, a bit more R-rated, and yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I feel like this, what's her name? Aubrey Plaza? I don't know if I like her. I liked her in Safety Not Guaranteed. But then there's some other films I didn't like her in. I feel like for me, she was the kind of downfall. I think the boys did quite, I feel like, what's his name? Adam Devine didn't do as well as I thought he would. I like him better in other things I've seen him in. Zac Efron I actually thought was one of the best, and Anna Kendrick was good in this. And the sister, Mike and Dave's sister's getting married. I liked her, I liked the sister's character. There was some good characters in it. I think I had more fun time with this than I did Bad Mums. So, you know, and I wouldn't not watch it again, but I wouldn't rush to watch it again. So that's Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Next we have Cafe Society. I don't know what I gave this. I either gave it 4 or 4.5 and I can't quite remember. And I was sad that I'd given it that because I wanted to love this film so much. So basically, Cafe Society is directed by Woody Allen. I love Woody Allen. I think he's brilliant. He directed one, and did he write it? He always usually writes it. It's usually the case, written and directed by, doesn't say. It's a Woody Allen film anyway. Maybe he didn't, maybe he did. My favourite Woody Allen film is Midnight in Paris. It's definitely one of my favourite films ever, be in my top 5, and I love Midnight in Paris. I've also enjoyed a lot of other Woody Allen films, but this one I thought was just up my street. It's set in 1930s. It's kind of like Hollywood versus New York-esque. It's all kind of interesting, and Jesse Eisenberg, who actually I'm not a big fan of, but I really liked him in this. Jesse Eisenberg is kind of coming in as an outsider to see this world and how it works and things like that, and I was really enjoying it, and I thought it was brilliant. It was brilliantly shot, it looked brilliant, the story was great, but there was a few things towards the end that I just felt like weren't necessary or weren't needed, and the story took a turn that I just didn't like and I didn't really enjoy as much. I would have enjoyed it had it not done that, so I feel like for those things I couldn't give it as high a rating as I would have wanted to, but it was so comedic at times, and I laughed out loud, which, you know, we wouldn't expect so much from this film. I felt for the characters, I loved the characters, it was a really good film, but it had its parts which I didn't, obviously I can't spoil it for you, that I just didn't really like, and I was like, oh, disappointing. And plus, of course, Blake Lively's in this. She wasn't in it as much as I thought she was going to be, but that's okay, she was in it, and obviously Kristen Stewart as well, who Kristen Stewart was fine in this as well. Sometimes I don't like her in films. I did not like Equals, but she was fine in this, and is it Ben Stiller? No, Steve Carell. Steve Carell is a really main character in this film, and he's not on the front or the back. So, oh, he is. He's there. But tiny picture. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I give it 4, 4.5, around that area. I think I can't remember. I think I gave it 4. We'll give it 4. It's got a nice gold box too, but I still would recommend watching it. Okay, the next film I watched was Race. This I also gave 4 stars, so it's kind of tied with Cafe Society, but I felt this, I didn't really have many problems with. It's the story of Jesse Owens. It was very interesting, kept me engaged the whole time. There was notes that were made that I thought were very interesting to do with the history at the time, and I felt like it was good that they went the way they did, and what they did well. So I enjoyed it. If you're into that kind of thing and you enjoy sports movies or kind of movies around the time of World War II, then I feel like you'd enjoy this. It was just so interesting seeing the Americans Olympic Committee talk with the Germans. Basically, it's about the it's got 2 stories. Jesse Owens is about him. It's kind of like a biopic of Jesse Owens, but then it's also about the Olympics that were in Berlin in 1936. Yes, I glanced on the back and I was right. I was like, yes. 1936 Berlin Olympics. It was very interesting, a nice kind of behind the scenes. Obviously, I don't know how much is true and how much is not, but I found it a very interesting story and a very interesting film to watch. So I definitely would recommend this one if you're interested in those kind of things. That's Race. 4, 4.5 again on those kind of lines. I don't remember what I wrote down. I need my little book with me. Okay, so the second to last film that I watched is Pete's Dragon. I don't know why I didn't watch this when I got it, but I didn't. I kind of held off on it, and I just didn't get around to it. And now, I've never seen the original Pete's Dragon, which I feel like now I should watch. I enjoyed this for the most part. I actually gave it 4.5 stars. I feel like I've debated over it again like the others, but I feel like I'd give it actually 4.5 for sure. I felt like it was kind of going down the Good Dinosaur route at some points. It was getting a bit dark and a bit too sad, and I thought, no, I kind of wanted this to just be a fun family Disney film, and it did get a bit like, oh, but I enjoyed it. It was different than I thought it was going to be. I liked the route it took, I liked the ending that it had, I liked the characters. I thought the little boy in this film, who I don't know who he was, I thought he was brilliant. I thought the dragon was very interesting. At first when I saw the dragon I was like, well, that doesn't look like a dragon, but then I kind of liked how they'd done that, and I kind of liked how it was a bit different, and it kind of worked really well within the setting. I felt like I couldn't have seen a different dragon now. I thought Robert Redford was really good in it, and overall I'd recommend it. It was a good kind of family fun film, and I would watch it again definitely. And I kind of feel like it had that kind of like Free Willy type of vibe from the films that kind of, those kind of 90s animal films. I felt like this kind of had that, but obviously a bit more magical because he's a dragon. But yeah, Pete's Dragon, I enjoyed it. Now my favourite film of the bunch was one that I did not expect to be my favourite one at all. I hadn't watched this and I kind of thought, meh, I'm really going to enjoy this, and Josh really wanted to watch it because he kind of read the back and thought, oh, it sounded really interesting. He picked it and I had picked Pete's Dragon, and it's Nerve with Emma Roberts and Dave Franco. I actually prefer Dave Franco than James Franco, but I don't know, I'm actually watching 11/22/63 with James Franco right now, and he's pretty good in that, but Dave Franco I think I prefer. I thought this was so good and so interesting. I kind of just wanted a fun film. I wasn't going into it expecting anything. I gave it 5 stars. Now, it's not a 5-star film. If somebody watches this video and they see that I gave the Hateful Eight at the bottom and this the top, it just seems really weird and like not right. But I thought it was so interesting, so exciting. I was kind of on the edge of my seat a little bit at the end. It wasn't as extreme as it could have been. I feel like it could have taken it further and gone deeper into it, but I really enjoyed it. It was just a fun film. The concept was great. I thought the idea of this game was brilliant. I thought Emma Roberts was a great character and Dave Franco was great as well. I loved the two of them together, and I loved their storyline and the concept I just overall really had fun with this film. It definitely wasn't bad at all. The music was sometimes really cool and then sometimes kind of a bit miss, so hit and miss there. I think the way that it was filmed was really interesting and really good. Obviously I love the New York setting. I feel like they really did into that well, and overall I just really enjoyed this film. And I definitely want to watch it again. I feel like I could have watched it again the next night, and hopefully I'll enjoy it as much. I don't know if I had many problems with it, but I feel like I was watching it just having such a fun time that I didn't really see any kind of main problems with it. Obviously it must have had some here or there, but I just had a great time watching it, and sometimes that's what you really want out of a film. So that's why I gave it 5 stars, because I just hadn't had that much fun watching a film for a long time, so I felt like it really deserved just kind of a bit of praise, and I just had a fun time watching it. Like I say, sometimes I watch films like, yeah, it was okay, that was good, yeah, it was alright, but this one I was like, oh, I loved it, and then after I watched it I was really excited about this film and I wanted to kind of talk about the film, and I was like feeling really good about it, so that's why it's at the top of my list, and I would definitely recommend it. It kind of made me want to read the book. I've heard the book's a little bit darker, so if you've read the book, please let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it. But yeah, that is the movies that I watched this week. Actually, 2 of them I'd watched last week, Bad Mums and Cafe Society, actually 3 on the Last Witch Hunter, but last week I did a roundup of every film from 2016, so that was last Friday. So yeah, those are the ones that I watched. Let me know in the comments below what you've seen out of these. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great start of 2017. Next week we'll be picking up some Monday movie hunts for 2017, and hopefully they'll be in next Friday's Friday reviews. So that's what I watched. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, or if you are a newbie, and I'll see you then. Goodbye!